All right, guys, I am speaking to you from Key West, Florida. If you've been watching any of my previous videos, within the last week or so, you'll remember that I've mentioned that I'm going to be coming to Key West. Well, here I am now. It is June, 20th? Yeah, June 20th, 2023. We arrived here yesterday between 5:30 and 6 o'clock p.m. It was about I'd say seven and a half hour trip for us from Lakeland. It was kind of long, but at the same time, it was enjoyable because we got to see things we haven't seen before. I've never been further south than Fort Myers or Sarasota. So that was kind of nice. For the first time in my life, I have seen sugarcane fields. I didn't even know they had those in Florida. And that was probably north of Miami. You saw some a little bit further south, but it's mostly north of Miami and south of where I live. I had never seen that before. I didn't know what it was upon first sight, but I kind of guessed. And then my son looked it up and told us. And I was like, that was amazing because this industry must be massive down there. It just sugarcane fields as far as the eye can see in almost any direction for a good part of the way down here. One of the other nice things is that we didn't have to get on any interstate, not even I-75, which I thought that it was going to take us to, but we didn't even have to get on I-75. It was all just highways, 2-lane highways down here. Well, 4 lanes if you count the other way, but 2 lanes going each way. No backups, no accidents, nothing. The state trooper and sheriff, let's just say law enforcement presence, was vast once you got, a little past the Miami area and started getting into the Key West. You want to watch your speed if you ever come down here. You do not want to go full throttle. There are some people that do. I didn't really see anybody pulled over, but there were state troopers everywhere. So, I had to slow down just a little bit just to make sure that I didn't get a ticket. We ended up renting out a van because there were 6 of us coming. We didn't hardly make any stops. I mean, we made a few, just a couple, just very brief ones. But when you get onto US 1, if you look at it on your maps, US 1 is very long once you get into the Keys. It's much longer than it even looks. It feels like, at least. It just seemed like that was probably the longest part of the trip. And large part of that is because the speed limit was slower and you are down to 2 literal lanes. And that's counting both directions, I guess. So you can't really get around people. You're just trying to make your way. We are all the way in Key West. I mean, just about as far as you can go. I haven't been to the southernmost point, but we're very, very close to it. And if you look around me, you can see that I'm on the 2nd floor of this place that I'm staying at. I've got the telecommunication lines here behind me, so that's why you see that, because I'm on the 2nd floor. There's a cemetery right across the street from us. A lot of raised monuments there. I didn't know that they would have done that down here. New Orleans is the only other place I've seen where, well, Ybor City is like that too. A lot of raised plots, but I want to go in here and look around for a little bit at some point. So, being that we got in as late as we did, we went on a haunted tour, which I'm not real big on. That's not my thing, but it is my wife's. She loves that kind of thing, so she booked that and we went on it. And I don't put much stock in what I hear when I'm on those. I've been on one in St. Augustine, and I've also been on one in Savannah. I just don't think there's much to them, but the history behind some of it is pretty cool. You get to find out things about the city that you're in, going on those. And it was an okay one. The one in Savannah I thought was better, but it was enjoyable. You know, that was at 9 o'clock. We went from 9 to 10:30. After that, we walked around Duval Street, which is really hopping. A lot of bars, a lot of drunk people. And believe it or not, there was quite a few shops that were still open even past midnight. I think we got here about midnight, but it was open real late. And it's a good thing because you hear all these scooters. There's tons of these scooters, motor scooters around here. But I'd actually forgotten to pack my swimming trunks for my trip to Key West, and it was just crazy. I can't believe that's the one thing I forgot. Well, I forgot my reading glasses too, but I don't really plan on doing a whole lot of reading. So I had to look around for some swimming trunks because we had a snorkeling trip scheduled for this morning, which we did go on. We did go on that. And I was able to find something to wear. I was happy about that. I was wearing my Boss Man Brands t-shirt that I like a lot. It's red likewise, but it's got the Boss Man brand across the top of the t-shirt here. It got the attention of some people who didn't have any idea what it was, and they just kept calling me Boss Man. Whatever. They were being fun. They were being silly. Well, they were being drunk is what they were. Offering me free beer. Only problem is I don't drink beer. I do drink some. I just don't drink beer. I just don't like the smell of it. I abhor the taste of it. People say it's an acquired taste, but I don't want to have to acquire a taste for it. I like mixed drinks. And well, that's what it is. But so the bars were just really hopping. Like I said, I thought about making a night walking video down there, but the amount of music I would have to mute or mask, it would be a lot. I might still do it. We had our snorkeling. I don't know what I said before when I was talking about this just a minute or so earlier, but we went on our snorkeling excursion, and that was pretty fun. I'm really glad I did it. Never done anything like that before. And we went about 7 or 8 miles out in the water. There's probably close to 100 people on the boat, 90 to 100 people. And we went way out there. It wasn't real deep where we were. As soon as you put your face under the water, though, you see all this coral and all these fish, and it was just incredible. It was a very nice experience. I enjoyed the trip out there. I enjoyed the fish. I enjoyed looking at the coral, floating around the water. That was a lot of fun. We got to do that for about an hour, but I got tired of about 10 minutes before our time was up. For some reason, and this is a new experience for me, but for some reason, keeping that mouthpiece in my mouth, even though I was taking it in and out when I come up, it was starting to make me feel sick. And I think the tightness of the mask had something to do with it too. I had a hard time with my mustache getting the appropriate tight seal, and I just kept tightening that mask, and I think that might have contributed to my nauseousness. So I still enjoyed my time anyway. By the time I got back on the boat, I was done, and I was starting to feel very sick rapidly, and then it just continued to mushroom for me on our way back. And I thought our boat trip back was never going to end because I was just getting sicker and sicker. I managed to hold everything down and got back to port fine, and I drugged myself home, which is why I say home here where we're staying, in one piece, and managed to get cleaned up, lay down, took a nap for an hour or so, which is really long for me. But I feel better now. And now my kids want to take our dog to a dog beach. I don't know where that's at. We do want to go see the Male Fisher Maritime Museum, where a lot of the treasure Scotia can be viewed or even bought if you want. My father-in-law has been there. I think my wife was there when she was younger. We want to go to the Hemingway house. I did bring a book. If you watch one of my previous videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I did have a Hemingway book I was going to read while I was here. I have to dig it out, but I do have. Actually, this place has a Hemingway book, The Old Man and the Sea, which I have not read before, and it's very short. It's like 118 pages. I might read it while I'm here. I kind of doubt it though. I don't even know if I have time to do that. This place is so nice. It's a Verbo, kind of like an Airbnb, right? And it's one of the nicest places we've ever rented. I'm not kidding. Anywhere. I didn't arrange any of it, so I don't know who it was. If you ever go to Key West, if you want to know who it was, I'll see if my wife can get me the information. But it is one of the nicest places I've ever stayed. 2-story, 2-room, king-size beds in each room, 3 bathrooms, immaculate. This house was probably built in the 1940s, I believe. Incredible. You can tell a realty company owns this because they've taken such good care of it. The attention to detail is such as you would find if someone was prepping for an open house or some kind of a showing for sale. Really, really nice. Let me take my camera here and kind of show you around. Of course, you've got the Key West colors that you're going to find everywhere here in Florida. I mean, everywhere here in Key West. I guess there's some kind of code where you have to keep up your property. You can't just have any color you want. You have to abide by certain rules if you're going to have property here, apparently. But look over the side here. Down the first floor, you have. Well, let me extend my selfie stick all the way. You have a dunk pool. And we actually got to go in that last night. Spent some time, I don't know, maybe about a half an hour in that. Cooled off when we came home because our walk home after the haunted tour, it was 85 degrees and 74% humidity. So I had already had a shower before I left, and I knew I needed another one when I came home. I got cleaned up, came out here in the dunk pool and cooled off. And spent some time, and this is just a really nice area. I would have made my video down here, but this fountain is pretty loud. What I like about that fountain being loud is that you don't have to worry about noise from the neighbors. It also acts as white noise, so it's very relaxing. I think I might want to consider having a dunk pool put on my property. But I love this setup. Look at the privacy you have. You might get a little noise from outside of the fence as people walk down the sidewalk, but you have all this foliage. It's a small area, but it's very, very private. So we are loving that. I'll extend this. I have this extended all the way, so maybe you can get a better look at things. I mean, really, most of what you're seeing, maybe those telecommunication lines. But we're enjoying it down here. I can't say yet that it's my favorite place that I've ever been to, but it's certainly different. You know, one of the things we got to see as we let me put my camera back on the table here. One of the things we got to see while we were when we finished up the Honda tour was the house where Robert the Doll was at, where those people lived that had Robert the Doll. I don't know if you know the story behind it, but it was a beautiful house. I mean, Victorian looking. It had that neon light that was providing some kind of lighting for it, pink light. It was absolutely stunning to look at. And you can actually stay the night there because they've turned it into a hotel of some kind. But I will say if you want to come down to Key West, It's not cheap. It's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. Going to some of the shops where you can buy, touristy things, I was amazed that the prices were really good. They're not exorbitant. I was shocked about that. If any place else I go, that hasn't been the case. So I did make a couple videos this morning going out to our snorkeling event. And I think those will turn out good. I'll have those up later. I would have loved to have taken the camera into the water, because this camera is waterproof. It's an Insta360X3. It's waterproof. However, the little door on the side that gives you access to USB and also to where you can, put your microphone in, that little door falls off a little too easy for me because I've taken it on and off so much. I was afraid I wouldn't get a really good seal on there. And if you don't, your camera won't be waterproof. And I just wish I could have been assured that it would have been waterproof when I needed it to be, because that would have been the perfect time. I mean, I would have loved to have shown you what we saw when we were out there snorkeling. So if you ever come to Key West, make sure you put that on your calendar of things, your things to do list. You won't regret that. I say that, but I got seasick, so, but not everybody does. There's a few people who are worse off than I was, certainly. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh yeah, I wish I almost had purchased the DJI Osmo Action 3 adventure set before I came. I didn't, and now I wish I would have, because that would have even been better underwater than this camera. So, anyhow, let me show you what I was going to show you what the side of the house looks like. I can do that later. I couldn't show you a whole lot without actually being on the ground. Like I said, you have a lot of these motor scooters, electric scooters, mostly motor scooters, and people on bikes. I will say people drive a little crazy around here. You see a lot of golf carts too, and it doesn't seem like people respect the laws too much in regards to, pedestrians. I guess because there's a lot of young people here. They're a little wild and probably a little drunk. So, anyway, that's all I have for today. I wanted to make sure I got a video out to you. I have some others in the queue. It takes me a little more time to edit, so I won't be getting to those. Some of my videos back to back will be a little disjointed as far as the time frame goes, or as when they were recorded, I should say. But anyway, this is the update. This is us in Key West. I would love to do a walkthrough of the house for you to show you how nice it is, but my family really doesn't want anything to do with being on camera or being on my videos. I don't blame them. I respect that. They're just, shy about that. And they can't really help that. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, now it's escaped me. But anyway, I'll get the other videos out to you. I think you'll really like them. Make sure you like this video, would you please? Hit the subscriber button and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the ones I'm talking about. And view the other ones that are all over, that are suggested here as this video closes out. All right, guys, I've enjoyed it. I hope you're doing well. And I will just see you in the next one. All right. Bye-bye.